him.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. The next episode of Red Valkyrie is about to start. Hey, welcome everyone to another episode of Red Valkyrie. I am one of your hosts, Shae Zombie, and off to this side we have Cyborg Valkyrie. Say hello.
Hello, everybody, and a special hello to Stephen Rich in the chat.
That is just so bullshit. Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, Adam, Steve. We had a couple other people. Rot10, appreciate you showing up all the time. Chris, you guys are awesome. Anyway, so we are here because...
because you're going to lag. Cool.
You guys...
Anyway. No, you're fucked.
I hate you so much. Any fucking way. We're here because a very good friend of our show, Vinnie Tartamella, has one of the coolest campaigns that he just launched that is already doing insanely stellar, Through the Wods. So say hello, Vinnie.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me on again.
Yeah.
This is epic that it's already shooting up this quickly. So yeah, thanks everyone.
Well, you definitely deserve it. You're definitely talented enough for it. So why don't you go ahead and give us a pitch as to what Through the Woods is? And this is the second time you've had this campaign, correct?
Yeah. This is kind of. Yeah. This is the collected edition of the 3-issue miniseries. So my very first campaign was Through the Woods. Before I knew anything about how Comicsgate really worked or how crowdfunding worked. So I had no audience when it originally launched, and I made so many mistakes on that campaign. So after it closed, I fulfilled all the backers anyway, and I started getting a good reputation for that. So my next campaigns kept snowballing, and more people are familiar with me. But as they got familiar, they wanted to see more about this book. It's like, what the hell is Through the Woods? This looks amazing. So I figured why not just do a collected edition for it? Do a special format. I'm going to have a cover gallery, a layout gallery in here, so you can see like how some of my process is from the drawings, the sketches, and all that kind of thing. But yeah, so I wanted to get this out there. It's essentially it is a ghost story, and it centers around this woman, Laura Langley, who she's in present time, and she inherits this property in upstate New York. But through the events of the story, she finds out she's caught in the middle of a ghost story, and it's a tale that started 100 years prior. So the land that she inherited, it's actually a loggers camp. So I go into the story of that. It was a very hard life what lumberjacks had and all that. But there was a lot of bad things that went down between certain characters in the book, certain lumberjacks. There's jealousy. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So we unravel the whole story from there. So it's set in current days, and then I do flashbacks. But by the end of the first issue, you see how it kind of all comes together as well. And I think it's a very, very tight story. It is the completed story is what people get on this campaign. It's 96 pages. I went all out on this.
And it's fully colored, correct?
Yeah, fully colored. My brother Frank is the writer on this. I did the first draft of the story, and it was going to be a horror book. And he goes, "This is really, really good." But he goes, "What if we do a ghost story instead? That way we don't alienate anybody if it's too gory or too much." So I'm like, you know what? That's a pretty cool idea. So he came up with a different ending. We removed like a secondary character who was going to meet his demise in the first issue. And we made it a lot tighter. So I said, "Yeah, dude, write the next one." So we bounced ideas back and forth, and then he got out the whole story, and and I just started working on it.
That's really cool.
So is this the inherited property?
This is part of it. There was a cabin in the back of this property that Laura actually she gets led to. and yeah, it's kind of
And then murdered, or
no.
it definitely looks like a sketchy ass cabin. I don't think I'd be walking around to.
Right. Well, it does have its history, and
Okay.
wow, I did have a tier that sold out already. It was actually the first edition, or the first printing. I had a very limited set left, but yeah, they're all gone now.
So this was the 3 books
Yeah, it was
individually, not the
Right.
collected set, but each
Correct.
individual issue and signed.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so
very
I at least wanted to give people a chance who are diehard collectors. So I'm happy they jumped on it very quickly.
Vinny,
So that's cool.
I want you to know I was scrolling through this today.
Mhm.
I'm seeing some similarity to City of Venus, just a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Just a touch.
Shut up, Shae.
You know what? Let me know when you're done. I'm just gonna be over here.
People that like chicks are talking.
Yeah, EVS had that one up on screen for a while.
Did he?
He was going over the butt and the pockets, and then he got to the top and he was like, "Yeah, this is gorgeous. Holy crap!" Because he wanted to break my balls a little bit, and then he's like, "Oh my god, this is beautiful."
Oh wow.
I love the shine you got on that axe.
Yeah. And like the halo effect from the sun kind of peeking through the forest and everything like that.
Yeah, the way it washes out the leaves. Yeah.
Well, and going right around her hair and everything.
Yeah.
Thank
really
you so
nice.
much. Yeah, it's tricky, but I try to capture at least some realism, because I'm kind of known for being a portrait artist first, and I like doing realistic stuff. But with the comic book side of things, if you get a good blend in between, I think you have something special. So it's kind of how I've been developing my style.
No, your art always looks awesome. You always have this gloss over everything. You know what I mean? Like, there's just this gloss.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Classy.
Classy. That's the key word.
Really, you want to know what that was? That was Sai having an excuse to scroll up and down, and just keep that booty right in frame.
Which is great.
Wait, I'm controlling this screen. You're saying I need an excuse?
I'm just saying, and so you don't come off as a total.
That
shine.
I was going to say that this particular piece is also, it was a banner that I was using for the convention circuit. So I had a lot of people, wanting to take photos next to that.
I can only imagine why.
Is she available in a cardboard cutout or body pillow or?
In a body pillow.
Sai needs a waifu.
Well, there are a lot of lonely guys in CG. That's all I'm saying.
I guess I got to make a new tier, huh?
Exactly.
Make it a stretch goal.
Oh my god.
Would you
Okay.
get 5K?
You know what fucking audience you're playing to, Vinny. Don't give me your bullshit anymore right there.
What bullshit? I'm not denying anything. I like drawing hot chicks.
It's very true. I mean, you remember when we saw City of Venus, all of the elongated muscular thigh shots. I don't feel like Vinny is confused as to his audience.
Oh, that's really awesome. The details in the creases of her fingers.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I try to do something different, or pushing kind of atmosphere and mood as much as I can. So playing with stuff is always a good thing. My current project that I've been working on, the pirate book, that one I have some pages are totally like digital paintings. Others have a lot of like really tight line work. So I'm always kind of trying to figure out or mess around with my approach on pages and storytelling.
So you already have a customer for the body pillow, just to let you know.
Oh, Steve.
And,
And I agree with what Gaze said, that you have both hot chicks and manly men, although this manly man is kind of little terrifying, actually.
Yeah, I've people who have had this book already, they message me and they get, this guy, Jack Lombardo, this lumberjack, he is the manliest man in all of comics. In the first issue alone, he fights a bear.
Okay. His wolf is named Hatchet.
Right.
Oh my god.
Isn't that cool?
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I like how you're named Hatchet. He has a fucking wolf.
He has a wolf named Hatchet, and he's a lumberjack named Jack.
Oh, so good.
Vinny, you're awesome.
Yeah, Hatchet is like a hybrid. He's like a wolf dog mix. I knew somebody who had one, and yeah, those things are amazing.
They are so cool, and they're huge. Oh my god! Like I could ride one into battle.
Oh yeah,
I want one so bad.
The paws are gigantic on those things.
Okay, Vinny, I gotta ask you. Okay, you see the red thing he's wearing on his head right here.
Yeah.
But then if I scroll down to the wolf, he's got a red bandana on. Is that the same thing?
It's not the same thing, but it kind of ties them together a little bit, concept wise. I think it complemented each other.
Okay, so he still is. I thought maybe he borrowed it from the wolf at times.
Oh no.
Hatchet protect. Oh, that's such a good. You know what's really funny about that too is that have you seen any of those kind of like service dogs and stuff like that? That's how a lot of their commands go, where it seems.
Oh yeah.
It seems like oddly just straightforward. Like a buddy of mine who's missing a leg, when he was down on the ground, if he needed to stand up, he would tell his dog to brace. Would just go fully rigid so he could push off of him to help himself stand back up, and that was one of the things he was trained to do.
Did you say brace?
Brace.
Okay. No, you lied down. I want to.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We found out that my internet that used to be the fastest internet that Fios announced is now the slowest, and they just never bothered to tell me. So, come the 4th of February, I'll have better internet, but I gotta wait now.
Yeah, well, I had like the worst internet for a very long time, and we found out it was like in the back of the building here in this complex. Because there was a lot of storms like a year ago or whatever, and it loosened up everything, like I guess their connections. And when the guy came to fix it, he was like, well, this is your problems. What's the problem? He hit it with his finger, and like you see like the wing nut almost on what was securing it. He goes, this is completely broken. He goes, I don't know how you have any internet right now. I'm like, oh, well, that would explain why I sound like I'm walking through, a drive-through at McDonald's or something.
So in other words, you had like two connections that were close, and your internet was just kind of bridging the gap as best it could.
Basically,
like, I kind of have internet.
Yeah, basically. I was
every hour I can kind of scroll to a new page.
Yeah. And then once he fixed it, I'm like, oh, everything's perfect. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to take questions now, or do we want to wait?
You know what? Let's just take questions as they come up, because we've had Vinny on already. So Rotten asks, do you and your brother work well together? Because he can't imagine working on anything with his.
Yes and no. It depends. Over the years, he's mellowed out a lot. And the thing is, it's like there's a lot of passion, right? And when you're working with writers, sometimes it's just like, if it's not written there, I don't want it. Or, it's kind of that nonsense. But the funny thing was, on this book, I started the story, right? So I had a lot more say in it from the beginning. So it was like issue 2 and 3. We, there was a little bit of headbutting here and there, but eventually, like, there's compromise. And once you kind of, you talk it all out. And then when he saw the drawings I was doing, he's like, oh, wait, no, you're right. Like, that does work a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the pacing, right? Since I've been doing storyboard artwork as well for different places, I think I have a very good grasp on how to piece a story in a very good way. So I'm like, because sometimes when you see something written down, it's like to draw it might not make as much sense, or it might not be as dramatic or powerful. So it's like trying to find the good spot that really works.
Well, and I think that's probably one of the hardest things when it comes to going between like a script and the artist, is trying to find that line of like, how much is it that you want to explain actually in lettering and through, storyboarding and storytelling, and how much of that do you want to just be obvious through all of the artwork?
Oh yeah. And then especially when it comes down to the part of, like you said, when you get to the lettering, things are going to be changed. So you can't be completely married to a script or even dialogue, because you have to see how it kind of works out on the page and what's going to make more sense. If like an expression already captured what they're saying, you could hint at it or say something different, but the reader will get a good grasp on the entirety of what's going on rather than being hand fed a lot of stuff too.
Right. Well, and there's parts that you want the reader to kind of fill in for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I actually have a friend who's written a couple of novels, and what he does is he never actually fully describes what the main character looks like. And it's because he's like, I want people to be able to interject themselves into it. And so even he's hired Tonks to do a couple of cover art things for him. And whenever he does it, he's always like, just make him in silhouette. And so you see like from his chest down will be like jeans and in color and stuff, and everything else will be in silhouetted shadow, just because they want you to fill it in with whatever you want.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like even if you go down to the to that page again with him and Hatchet, and the bear, that one. I mean, like the way that I framed it, like I have the bear there. A lot of people miss it on the first go around. They're like, "Whoa, he's right in front of them," and then I have the shadow on the floor. Like, you got to give every kind of like little element that's gonna pull the whole thing together.
Yeah.
Like I learned that a lot when I was doing covers and even a lot of like the pinup stuff I was doing. I always want to tell a story with whatever's going on. If it's a single image or if you're working with panels, you should be able to have some kind of a story being conveyed throughout the whole thing, much like Frank Frazetta or like other like movie poster artists, Drew Struzan. You want to capture everything that's going on.
Sorry, I'm giggling because Drew is just asking the most ridiculous of questions in the chat. Half of them being tongue twisters. So I'm gonna rapid fire these real quick, and you answer whichever ones you can come up with an answer with. What is the secret of the universe? How many roads must a man walk before you call him a man? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Does cannonballs fly?
Okay, you totally broke up on the last one.
I said it, and I'm not saying it again.
We didn't ask you to say it the first time, for fuck's sake.
How many drinks have you? Well, how many drinks have you had, Drew?
I like it. Answer the question with the question. Oh my goodness. So let's go through your stretch goals that you've got for this, because you've got some pretty badass ones. Yeah,
this is the real big thing. It wasn't so much the actual goal on the campaign. It's really the stretch goals is what we're really shooting for. So at 10K, if we could hit that, it's going to unlock an extra 2 pages of artwork for the book. But it's also going to turn into a hardcover book right off the bat. So whoever's backing today or from last night, whatever, as long as we could hit it before the campaign ends and before I got to go to print and everything, if we could hit those numbers, I want to get a hardcover book for everybody.
Hell
so that's the big thing. And 12K, going to up the size of the book as well. So it's going to be in a more premium format for sure.
That is super awesome. And I love that you're doing a hardcover at such a low goal. And I know that 10K sounds ridiculous calling it a low goal, but after looking at some of these other campaigns that are out there and having things be, oh yeah, when we hit 50K, then we'll do perfect binding. And if we hit 75, then we'll do hardcover. And it's like, well, oh, good shit. That's a lot of money. Like, I get it. But at the same time, like, some of those are really, really hard goals to get to. And the fact that you've, kind of looked it over and priced it out and been like, at 10K, and that's what I want. That's what I would prefer. Mm-hmm. That's really awesome. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how the hell you're doing it at 10K, and I'm very intrigued, and I would love to know the details off air.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Because I have a certain number. Obviously, if we go well past it, then the book will stay in demand. But if it's staying, if I'm only hitting around that, if let's say maybe it's only like 13K or 14 or 15 or whatever, then I think it's going to be a super limited campaign. This is just like the last chance to get this book because I have numbers that I need to hit, need to reach. But as long as people want to keep backing it and supporting it, hell yeah. If this becomes a $20,000 or $30,000 campaign, I'll keep it open. Shit, sure.
And then it gets bigger.
Yeah.
8.5 by 11.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a gamble as well, but at the same time, it is a completed book totally. So people aren't going to be waiting months and months and months. It's literally going to be, maybe a month and a half or two. It's essentially for printing. Well, for Indiegogo to release the money, and then printing, and then I start the fulfillment process. So again, like my other books, everyone knows how quickly I fulfill.
Oh yeah, I think that I backed your book and then I had it within a week, and it was I was actually super shocked because I was just like, oh yeah, I backed this book, I'll get it at some point, and I like have my little Excel spreadsheet of all of the things I've backed and how I'm getting them in like 12 months from now, maybe. And, out of everything that I've backed, I think I've only gotten a handful of them, actually. Like, I've gotten Replicator and I've gotten yours for sure. And I think that might be it so far. And it's kind of crazy because everything else just takes a good amount of time usually because people don't have these ready to go. People are still finishing up art or still finishing up lettering or whatever it is that they need to do. And you've already got all of that stuff done or damn near done by the time you start an Indiegogo, which is freaking amazing because that means everyone's getting it the second you can send it off to print and get it back. Then you get them, ship them, and out they go, and you're going to get it instantly.
Hell yeah. Like Red was saying, I'm a professional with a realistic mindset, that's for sure. I'm a man of the people.
Absolutely. Well, and I think it's really important for a lot of creators to realize that, at the end of the day, everyone who's backing you, they're regular people who are consumers who want that you're, sitting here looking at it from that kind of a mindset. Like, I'm also a consumer. This is what I would want. This is what I would expect.
Exactly. I think I said it the last time I came on. Yeah, I am. I've been backing a bunch of books as well. Whenever I can. It is difficult because of I got to pay bills as well, and I know people see numbers right away and they go, "Oh, he's doing all right." Oh, not necessarily. When you look at these campaigns, you got to at least cut it in half. The overall goal, whatever the person has. Because I mean, the printing alone and the shipping is insane. I didn't realize how much all that was going to cost, but that's why you got to price it a certain way. So again, from the very first campaign, you learn these things. You learn it, and very quickly, especially if you're going to be, popping out more books. And 2019 was insane for me.
Well, you did like a bajillion projects.
Yeah, it was 4 campaigns and 7 books.
Wasn't it art, one of the Woods books, and then City of Venus?
It was all 3 of the Woods books right out the gate.
Wow,
you're insane.
Yeah, it was the 3 floppies. So yeah, that was very, very insane.
I just want to let you know I still have my stuff just sitting.
Beautiful.
Sitting at my desk. And of course, for all of you who love the booty, and I know it's hard to see because of the glare, but there's a very nice booty shot of a girl just chilling on a ledge, because what girl doesn't just chill on a freaking ledge? I know I do at least once a day.
Well, it's also pretty much the first page of the book, right? She's waking up on the rooftop.
It's fine. Who doesn't wake up on a rooftop from time to time?
Which, again, issue 2 is going to have more of the backstory on that main character. So, City of Venus 2 is still happening. It's going to be after the pirate book, though. So, it should be the 3rd campaign for this year. But I'm pacing this out in a different way. So, I'm not killing myself because last year was way too much.
Yeah. You gotta make sure you space it out and make it so you don't have burnout, because once you burn out, that can screw you for so much longer than you think it's going to.
Oh yeah, because I'm still, again, my main job is I'm doing freelance stuff for different companies and all sorts of shit. So it's it's definitely a lot. So if these campaigns do better and better, I'm obviously going to be able to put more time into these. So again, that's the goal for, I think, everyone who's creating.
Shae, you're up.
So Rotten is asking, have you accounted for the additional shipping for an oversized hardcover? And they want to get it to 30K to make sure that you're covered that way.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Yes, please keep pushing for 30K. Help me cover everything.
So if you get 12, did you already account for that oversized hardcover shipping, or are you just going to come out of pocket for it?
Well, no, it's like my other campaigns, right? There is a flat rate on priority.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So it is put in there regardless. So shipping is $10 on this, but you got to remember too, especially if we do hardcover, these books are going to be £1.
Yeah.
You know, minimum. So yeah, it's overseas is a thing that usually gets you.
Right.
That is very true.
Yeah, that's the tricky part, but that's why you gotta get the price up a little bit more for that. And on my last campaigns, I think I kind of balanced it out proper, because like if you like what you have, like if somebody ordered all 3 books, I usually put them together, and yeah, like I could kind of account for the weight and the price on that. That's kind of how I came up with my international prices on this.
Just get a Dungeons and Dragons hardcover player guide and use that for your weight.
I mean, that's kind of true.
not a bad idea.
There was a question. I'm trying to remember what it was that Shae missed. You're
the one that brings them up on the freaking screen.
Whatever. Vinnie, do you want to go over your tiers?
Sure. Yeah. For $35, you get the book by itself. I try doing at least something that's slightly discounted, but again, not everybody needs books signed, so I put that option out there anyway. So then the next tier is
a comic book. I love that.
Yeah, comic book, graphic novel.
And I would like to point out, only 9 people do not want your signature.
Oh, I wanted your signature on all of them. In fact, yeah, yep. I had to make sure it was on mine.
Well, got to give options anyway, right? So yeah, for $40 though, yeah, you get the book signed by both writer and artist. So yeah, that's I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
It is, except where you say it's negative 96 pages. Does that mean we owe you pages?
Negative. Damn it! Another typo. I think I could go in there and fix it, but I'll do that later. Oh no, I didn't put negative. It's they did it. It's the way they did it with the brackets, I think. Yeah, because it's on.
It's fine. Besides being an asshole.
Yeah,
I am being an asshole.
It's an Indiegogo thing, because it also says minus signed copy. So if you're looking at it that way too. But yeah, for $200, I put an original sketch in there. So yeah, that third tier is for original artwork, a brand new drawing. It's going to be like my random pick of a character, whoever I feel like drawing at that moment, and I'm going to put it in the book. So if it's hardcover, I'm hoping to do it like on the inside flap, so that it's all right there contained. But otherwise, if it stays soft cover, it'll be like an individual piece, like on a backer board.
Okay.
And then yeah, I have my crazy tier, which is the only original printed work from this book that's available for purchase. Yeah. So it's the brand new cover. It's the line work, 11 by 17. Because again, I don't do that much inking, or I haven't on this book. It's either been all digital, or like I went straight from sketches to fully painted on Photoshop. But like my current book that I'm working on, I'm starting to do a bunch of pages that are traditional. Some I'm keeping pencil, some have full inks. So I want to be able for the next campaign to give a couple of different options. Obviously, pricing will be lower on that. But this is specifically because it's the only piece of original artwork that was printed for this campaign that's for sale.
I love how you want to keep it. Yeah, you do. I love how you listed a full retail price for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but here's another thing to point out, and this isn't me pandering. It might sound a little bit like it. Artists need to know what their worth is, and what you deem worth your time, and all of that. And usually, what I see from artists is y'all will spend 10, 15 hours on a piece and do this like insanely detailed thing, and then you'll charge $10 for it.
Yeah.
Like it's something that I argue with artists over all the time. They're like, "Well, I feel like I'm greedy if I ask for 75 for this full commission in color," and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like 400, dude? What the hell is that shit? 75?"
Right. Well, this is what I'm talking about too, right? Because I've been doing I've done a bunch of conventions. I've gone on Mike's stupid auction that one time when I called him out for doing something bad. But I've seen people practically give away their artwork, and then depending if he's on with his friends and if they want to keep pushing, what happens? They could pull in upwards of like $3,000 on a horrible drawing, something old that they're going to throw away anyway, you know, just to clean out their inventory. Screw that. This is something special. This is part of the campaign. This is the brand new cover that I did for this. So that is my worth for sure on this.
Well, and the fact that you know that is actually really refreshing, because like I said, I feel like people undervalue themselves all the time. Like, because there's not like a guidebook on how you're supposed to price your services when, you know, hey, how much do I actually charge if I'm going to completely create a new character versus draw a character that is already established? Right. If I'm going to do just pencils or pencils and inks or pencils, inks, and colors, you know, from my perspective, what am I supposed to charge for lettering? All of that stuff, everyone's kind of like, it's a weird guessing game, and nobody wants to share what they charge because you feel like it's kind of like sharing your paycheck, which is something that people should actually do a lot more because it makes you more competitive.
Right, but it does vary, right? And then like you've seen like these gigantic names in comics, like let's say Marvel is paying someone like J. Scott Campbell maybe $20,000, $30,000 for a cover, right? Let's say it's something like that, and then you have someone who's a little bit, you know, kind of an unknown, and they're only getting paid maybe $500, $600. Like, where's the balance in that? Who says one thing or the other? Why? Because then also Campbell takes that artwork and he makes money off of it himself as well. So it's the whole thing is odd. There is no you know, set structure on it.
No, and that's why you have to be really secure in your worth and what you're willing to charge, and think of it in terms of how many man hours did this take you? Like, how long did you spend working on this? Now, how much of that was actual legitimate work and how much of that was you second guessing yourself, in which case, you know, probably don't charge people as much for you going back 30 times to fix something.
Right.
Because all of the artists that I know do that too.
Okay, it's not just artists that do that. How many times have we gone through new banners and logos?
And I'm sorry, this weekend or?
Shut up.
And that's it, right? It's design elements.
Here's our new banner.
This is the new banner that has been tweaked only about 15 times since Friday.
It looks great. It's worth it. But and that's the thing,
it does. Right? Good job, Cy.
You got it's design elements. You want to make sure things are going to be very catchy. It's going to make sense. It's going to draw people in. So
exactly.
Yeah, you always got to tweak things. I know the cover on this alone. When I got to the painting stage, I tried something different as well. I tried a different technique on how I colored it. You know, because it's always learning, it's always experimenting.
Yeah.
And I went back to this maybe 4 or 5 times because then I wanted to make sure I had extra lighting that was correct, and you know, something's gonna pop or draw the eye in the correct way.
Well, and I feel like it's so hard too when you're doing a campaign and you learn a new technique, because then it's like, oh, do I go back and redo everything I've already done, or like, can I just integrate it halfway through and have it not look odd? Like, how am I gonna make this work?
Yeah, well, like I said, my pirate book is kind of all over the place, but each page is like a gorgeous, you know, one of those things. It's like, okay, this works. Like, this looks good. Like, there's no need to change it or put more line work into the painted style. No, it's just what it is what it is, and yeah, I'm excited to get more of that done and out there because I'm super proud of that one.
So
well, I'm proud of all these, but.
I mean, obviously you should be. But when are you planning on launching your pirate book?
It's going to be later in the year, maybe the middle of the year.
So I got time to find a swashbuckling outfit is what you're telling me?
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
Okay, good.
No worries on that.
I'm sensing a Renaissance fair is in Shae's future.
Why a Renaissance fair?
Because they sell pirate shit too.
Do they?
Yeah.
Not around here. Around here, it's they get really into it being very specific. But yeah, so I totally just forgot what I was gonna say. I had something. I swear I did.
That you have time to get an outfit?
I do have time to get an outfit. It was something else entirely.
Okay. Oh.
It's fine. This is just
Okay.
going to go in our wonderful blooper reel that we are eventually making because I keep fucking up.
It's awesome.
Hey, it
Hey,
happens.
You did not choke literally before the intro this time, so
This is true. I did not choke on my own spit and almost die before I could even.
Oh boy.
That was
so
a different stream.
point of fact, I have to correct something because my co-host is privately telling me what an asshole I am. She did not miss a question. She did not miss a question. Thank you, Shae.
Fantastic.
Oh my goodness. So is there anything else that you wanted to kind of fill us in on this particular campaign? Anything else that you got in the works? Maybe higher stretch goals if you get past that 12?
Well, yeah, I think I'll be throwing in again, assuming we hit that. Like the next ones it'll be like closer goals, like maybe at 15K, maybe a bookmark or something. Like the little extras. I think would be pretty cool. Maybe a print. I'm thinking about doing like a little print, sort of like I did for City of Venus,
Heck
but
yeah.
maybe of Laura with the axe. That famous booty shot.
I'll donate a hand turkey.
A hand turkey.
Nobody wants these hand turkeys.
It's not Thanksgiving anymore. Come on.
It doesn't matter.
We
did it for the charity stream, and after having all of these actual artists on, the only person who got picked up to do anything was me doing hand turkeys. So
thank you, Palladium.
What was that?
Fuck you, Shae.
You know what?
Whatever.
I'm done with you.
Whatever.
Whatever, yo.
Things just got awkward really quick.
Did they? Oh, Vinny, I feel like you've gone through the gauntlet well enough that this shouldn't be awkward.
It's all good. But what was I saying? I said for certain things. I mean, like you said, a hand turkey. That was more. I would say it's more for Thanksgiving. I had my Halloween book. I finished it and I took it off. It ended after Halloween. So you have to find your moments. Just saying. Although your Nightcrawler turkey was fantastic.
It so was.
Thank you. I did a Cyberfrog one that did not get the same reaction. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I did an Adam Post one too. That
Nice.
that Post-it loved, but I think he might have been the only one.
Okay, draw a turkey hand, make 5 of them, all of me, different takes on me.
Do all of them with his hair from the 90s.
Adam, I'm going to need you to start sending me references.
Do it now.
Shae, do you need to take care of that?
I'm about to. While I'm gone, Rotten is giving us a whole lot of super awesome questions. So feel free.
I will be happy to ask. Go ahead. We just all watched Shae extract her earbuds. Okay. So, Rotten Glory. Were you drawing as a young kid? If so, did you ever get in trouble for drawing TNA?
As a kid, I wasn't really drawing that much TNA. Nothing like that. I mean, everything to a kid, kids don't really see things super sexual unless they do have some kind of a disorder. But then they have to see a shrink on that. But no, I was not like the guy from Superbad. So no. But no, yeah, I started drawing like about 9 years old or something. Yeah, there was a big move the whole family had. So when we got to the new location, I didn't really know too many people, and I just continued just kind of drawing and doing my thing. I was a caretaker for a sick family member, so that's another reason why I kind of I honed my craft more. I would help out family, and then just kind of keep the drawings going. I just kind of like slowly kept getting better and better.
So, Vinny, that was a very interesting but sad at the end story. But let me ask you: can I call you McLovin?
McLovin?
Yeah, from Superbad.
Why? I don't look anything like that kid.
I feel it's appropriate.
I don't know what I just walked back into, but okay.
I don't know either. Hi, Carla.
Hi, Carla. We love Carla.
We
She's
do.
awesome. Yeah, her and John are fantastic. I hope they're doing better too, since the fire and all the support we've been giving them.
Yes, seriously, they're awesome people, and that fire was some total bullshit.
Yeah, it's just fucking tragic.
Well, the worst part is I feel like wonderfully beautiful little scented candles got the bad rap because of the gas leak. I feel like the gas leak was the problem, not the scented candle.
Gas bad. That's why you stay away from beans.
Right?
Okay.
And Carla, I hope that anything that you got out of the charity stream absolutely helped you guys.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, all of our love for Carla just derails us. We don't even care. I'm sorry, I'm giving Carla flashbacks. I'm sorry for showing you the candle.
Great, you just triggered her.
How dare you in all caps? Oh my gosh, I love her.
She's gonna slap you around now.
You know what? She actually probably could, and that was a little terrifying.
She's got that Italian blood, so yeah.
I know, she's so sweet though, but I feel like that's the disarming.
Trigger alert.
When I read that, I literally heard it in my head in Greta voice. How dare you?
It. How dare you?
Oh my gosh. Why do they keep... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Froggy's here.
Oh,
Cool.
hey, Froggy.
Hey, brother. What's up?
So one thing I was thinking you should do for a tier that you'll never ever do, and you really shouldn't do at all, but I'm gonna say you should.
What's that?
You need to get super awesome like puffy vests that have like Through the Woods something on them somewhere.
Puffy vest.
Yes, like this is a nice puffy vest.
Well, this isn't Back to the Future.
Hey,
What is that, a life preserver? Where's the ocean?
Oh, shit.
You just jumped ship?
But yeah, there was no puffy vest in this book.
I know. I'm very upset. And look, I feel like I'm camping when I wear it. Okay, so that's how it happened.
It's a good look on you, that's for sure. But,
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I had them you can see it in that flashback scene, the sepia one. Like they have their long johns, and then they have like their shirt on top.
Oh my gosh! Wait, do they have the long johns with the little butt flappy thing?
Well, I don't show that. I mean, they're just.
I know, but theoretically, do they have the butt flap?
Well, yeah, for back then they did.
Well, they would have had to. That's the flap for the outhouse, Shae.
I know, it's something that my parade around in when I was growing up. So trust me, I'm well aware.
Didn't all kids? I mean, as babies, didn't we all run around like that?
Children as babies, yes. Full-grown adult males, probably not. No, but my dad was like in full red long johns every time we went out camping. Just
oh boy,
little butt flap. I was like, I need you to not be near me.
Camping or to the cabin?
I'm sorry, to the cabin. My family doesn't camp. We were at my grandmother's cabin that had plumbing and wood-burning stove and television.
So it wasn't just like the one behind you?
It was a lot less murdery.
Fewer chunks taken out of it?
There was definitely a full roof. Had a balcony.
Well, 100 years does something to a place, right?
Obviously. Rotten wants to know, how long does a page take you on average start to final colors?
It really does depend on the piece. They could be anywhere from a day to a week, depending on what I'm putting in there, how much is really going on. That one varies, but my average, I guess, would be 3.5 days. Something about, work days.
That's
So,
actually
like,
not too bad.
3 weeks with the heavy drinking in between.
Lots of drinking.
Oh, I have tequila.
Shut up.
Sounds like a great idea. Anyway.
It's really not, especially not on this channel.
I'm not allowed to drink on our show.
You got to go guest on other people's shows.
Yes. Hey, Vinny, when you want me on?
Yeah, come on anytime. How many bottles are you gonna bring?
No.
Oh, you know. No. As many as I can hold.
Oh boy.
So Rotten has another question for you. Did you draw from any real life moments of fear for Through the Woods? Like being out in the woods as a kid and scaring the shit out of yourself?
Well, I always loved like horror stuff, but when I was really young, like my first big fears were like Freddy Krueger and being like, I don't know, what was I, 6 or 7, I think when the first one came out or something along those lines. But my brothers, they were good at tormenting me and my cousins and stuff. I remember the very first time I saw Freddy Krueger, it was my eldest brother had bought one of the masks and the claw, and he just came out of the dark, out of the hallway, just running like straight up, like yelling and running. You don't even have to have a mask on to be shitting your pants. But then as a kid, you turn around and you see like the face of a burn victim.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So as an early teen, I had the glove.
Uh-huh.
That had like the plastic claws. That thing was awesome.
That was pretty cool. I actually met Robert Englund just a few years ago, and he was cool as shit. One of the nicest
all of
guys
the
too.
celebs, seriously.
He's very nice, and you know what? You wanna tickle him, like talk to him about the Adventures of Ford Fairlane or V instead of talking to him about Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. Well, he's done so much work, but his acting. He's done so many good things. But when I had met him, it was a weird show where like the promoters weren't really doing a proper job, and he started getting hammered at the show. So when I got a chance to get away from my table, I went to go say hi to him. I had that female Freddy Krueger print, so I said, "Oh, this is for you." He got up, he moved the people out of the way, he grabbed, he goes, "Oh, I'm taking this home," and he put it right in his bag. I said, "Well, yeah, it was for you." He says, "Come over." He goes, "Come over here." He threw his arm around me. He goes, "Someone take a photo. This kid's amazing."
Aww.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he's great. Really awesome guy and fantastic with the fans. So,
That's awesome. I haven't met like famous people. The closest I got was Thurl Bailey, which if you don't watch from like I don't know the 90s, you have no idea who he is.
What's he from?
He's a former NBA player.
Oh,
okay.
But he ran a basketball clinic in Utah when I was growing up, and I was forced into basketball because I'm gigantic. So I told myself that I really enjoyed it. I hate basketball with a passion, but I used to go there, and he saw me as the only girl that was taller than all of the guys. So he zeroed in on me and called me his shot blocker, and I thought it was just a 1-year thing till I went back the next year, and he's like, "Oh, it's my shot blocker." I was like, "Holy shit, he remembers me." That was as close as I got. And then I found out that like my neighbor was his lawyer or something, and they had like dinner every Sunday or some shit. So he was always in my neighborhood. I was like, oh. So,
was he always getting into trouble?
No, worked together anytime he like did a new business or anything. It was.
I was only teasing.
Because he's over at his lawyer's every week.
I gotta see my lawyer again. What happened? I accidentally hit somebody, and I didn't mean to. My arm is so long. And turned around, and now there's another lawsuit.
His lawyer's a Mormon, so it's the constant like, come over and have family dinner with us.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, nice. They just hung out all the time.
Were you taller or shorter than him?
Oh, by far shorter. He's like 6'7".
Oh my god.
He's fucking huge. But he would put his hand up every time he saw me, and I could run up and like snack it. Like I was the only person that could actually reach it when I jumped.
Oh wow. That's awesome.
Anyway, back to the actual questions at hand.
I know we were jumping around in the celebrity pool.
Look, it's all I got is Thurl Bailey. I got no one else.
which, by the way, if you guys want to see a really cool interview, yes. My friend, Lee Ehrenberg, I did an interview with him, and that's over on my YouTube channel as well. So when you guys are done here, please go take a look at that one. Super great guy. He was in Pirates of the Caribbean, Once Upon a Time, Seinfeld, a whole bunch of shows, and just his career is huge. He's in so much stuff. But
he really is.
Yeah, really great guy. So yeah, check that out when you can.
Dark Gift wants to know, do you do your own lettering, and if so, what's your process? Which I'm actually quite interested to know.
My process. Well, I do it myself. Essentially, like I make the balloons and I have a font, and I just type those out. But it's not that complicated.
Specific.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, there's something that goes into lettering. Let's be real.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you want to make sure that it's just the way that you do it. I mean, anyone who reads a comic book, like, pick up a bunch of them, take a look. You want to have that nice kind of oval shape to the way that you set up the dialogue, the words themselves. Because things can get very messy. I know in the beginning, when I first did it, like, I rushed through. This is crazy. I had done a free comic book years and years ago. I did a story with my brother with Spider-Man and the Hulk. It was like, it was some crazy little book. I just wanted to get it out there. But, yeah, I did the lettering on that, and it was god-awful. Some of the worst. Because I put no thought into it. Because, there was some family stuff going down, and I didn't have much time. So I'm like, fuck it. I did all the lettering in a day, and it shows.
Yeah.
So I feel like as the artist and the letterer, you have kind of a cheat in that process, because you can do the art specifically to really allow putting the lettering, exactly where you want it, to make sure that you're not covering anything up. So you can kind of give yourself a leg up there.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree on that for sure. Because I know I've seen that before, and it drives me insane when I see these awesome looking books, or like, well, not so much now, but when you picked up Marvel and DC.
Not so much now, but yeah. Well, that.
Well, you know what I mean? Yeah, or pick a good era and look back at them. You go, wow, this page would have been even more epic if they didn't cover up half of the artwork with a word balloon that they didn't have to make that big, or it depends, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we have a follow-up from Carla. She says, what about the sound effects that you do? Because she saw some really cool ones on your pages.
Yeah. Well, it was a really old CD that I gotten, I think from Blue Line. Do you remember that? The ones they have the paper. They have a website too. The Blue Line Pro. They sell all kind of like comic book supplies. Well, they had like there was a famous letterer who had like a CD of all different kind of word balloons and things like that. And I modified them, so like they're not exactly his. Like I did my own, but it kind of worked off of it.
Very cool.
But there's all different ways, and I know now people keep telling me that the Clip Studio is fantastic.
I love Clip Studio.
Yeah, there's a ton of features and stuff. So I'm still a little bit like caveman when it comes to certain things, but.
Well, so let me ask you this then, to kind of tack on to Carla's. Do you consider sound effects to be more the artist's realm or more the letterer's realm? Because I've seen it both ways.
I would say probably letterer, unless like the artist really has a specific, like sound thing that they want in there, and it's very stylized. Because I know like J. Scott Campbell, he used to have, like, what he did with Danger Girl, he designed everything because he wanted it all to have a very specific style to his comic book style, what he was doing. So I think it depends on the creators, but if you have a great letterer, I mean, let them have at it.
Everyone has Eric Weathers except you, so
he has offered. So I don't know. Maybe at some point, it depends on the work schedule too, right?
Maybe the pirate book if you're really busy cranking.
Yeah, maybe, because like on this specific book, Through the Woods, I was going back and forth with my brother. So he was very specific in what he wanted, and then again when we got down to actually putting the lettering on, we had to start changing some of the dialogue here and there to accommodate for the rest of the story in the page. So obviously it's a back and forth. If I just gave like a script and just sent it over to someone like Eric or any other letterer, then I get it back. I'm like, well, actually this should be changed, or it's for me, it's a longer process. But again, if I'm doing it by myself, then yeah, I could have a better grasp on what exactly I want. So yeah, maybe something like that. I'd be like, yeah, Eric, here's what I want on this page. Go for it. Yeah.
Rotten wants to know, are you getting a lot of requests from other CG creators to produce covers for them?
Covers, pinups, sketch cards. Yeah, everyone's been hitting me up. I've been taking on some of them. The thing is, like, my schedule is very full, so like I have to kind of weigh it out, like what I really have time to do, or what I can squeeze out. And if I turn down somebody in the past, I try not to do it more than once. So yeah, I mean, even if I haven't done it for you guys, for anybody who's listening yet, eventually I'll get to you. It's just, it might not be on the current campaign. Again, scheduling is crazy. But I had done one recently for Clint with Downcast, and I think he just put it up tonight on Twitter. But yeah, I did his character. I think it's going to be used as a poster or a pinup, I believe.
Oh, that's awesome.
Unless he changes his mind, I don't know. But if it's a cover, that'd be cool too. But I have no idea yet.
Well, what I've noticed that a lot of people tend to do is they'll hire somebody for a pinup, and then they get the pinup back, and it's so much better than they were expecting, and they're like, "Screw it, it's a cover now, and now we have an alternate." Well, right. It's the same thing that happened for the Rags cover that Tonks did. That they ended up making their alternate. I think it was a Patreon exclusive cover or something like that for book 2. There's been a couple different people who've done that. Just all throughout CG. Somebody will send something over and they're like, I'm going to use it as a cover now, so I'm going to pay you, and thanks. And it's just like, here you go, and now it's my cover.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's why I try to talk that stuff out beforehand. It's yeah, this is my price. Yeah,
and that's totally fair. I do think I saw one question I don't remember us asking. Do you prefer to do comic style drawing, or do you prefer pinup?
Well, again, it depends on what the pinup is. If it's like cheesecake, it depends on the mood too, and what I'm kind of doing. I might be sick of what I'm currently working on, like if it's too much like comic book stuff, or if I can't get into a groove, and I might go like, yeah, pinup might be really fun to do right now, or some cheesecake, or vice versa. If I'm doing too much of that, I'm like, no, I want to get back into storytelling. And the same could be said too with the drawing aspect versus the coloring and the painting. Sometimes right. I'm just, it could be 2 weeks straight, I'm just doing paintings, nonstop, and then I'm like, damn it, I want to get back to doing a nice tight detailed line work, or in inks. So yeah, it depends on the day and the mood.
I mean, that it makes sense. They're different. They're kind of different kinds of creating.
And that question was from Rot 10 Glory. Thank you, Shae. Great eye.
I knew I saw something about pinups in there. Well, I don't know if we have any other questions from the chat, but do you have anything else that you want to throw out there before we sign off and say goodnight?
Yeah, City of Venus is still going on. It's still going strong.
It's so pretty.
It's over 15K. Thank you. I'm really happy that you enjoyed that one.
I do.
I'm itching to get back to that as well. So anyone who did back it, don't worry. The sequel is coming. It's just going to be, later in the year. Because again, right now my focus is Pirates and getting my other freelance work done. So that's where my time is split at the moment. And building up my YouTube channel, get more stuff out there. And yeah, anyone who is listening and watching, please come check out on Wednesday night on the War Campaign. They're going to actually be doing the subject for the drone and backhaul is Through the Woods.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. It was a great surprise. And those guys are fantastic. It's always a bunch of fun. War Campaign, the artists who are involved. The last one we did, because we're going more serious now. It was only the first couple we went goofy on purpose, just to kind of, slap anti-CGers in the face a bit. But now we're doing more serious, and we're showing other creators in their fantastic projects. The last time was Liam Gray with his book, Xenotype. and we all had so much fun drawing his characters. It's like no one really even cared who won. Like there wasn't that much rivalry going back and forth. It was like, holy crap, that looks awesome, bro, that's killer.
Yeah.
So it was a fun stream, and yeah, I think we're all very proud of what we did over there. So yeah,
that's super awesome.
Running back hold Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Get over on War Campaign. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So we do have one final question from Rotten. Do you think that CG can pass the 10 million mark in 2020 to snag 1% of the comic book market share?
I think it's possible. Why not? You know, there's a ton of great books coming out this year. A ton. February and March alone, we're going to just have a shit ton of them. So, yeah, I think I'm kind of the first out of the gate. And already, you know, first day doing these, already in this one day, I did better than my first go around with Through the Woods.
Just so you know, you're at 3351 currently, 670%.
That's what I'm saying. So, you know, the entirety of my campaign, the first go around was something close to that number. You know, so I surpassed it in one day.
That's awesome.
That's thanks to all these amazing backers, the support we're getting. CG is on the upswing. I don't care what anyone says. We're doing great. Everyone's supporting one another. These streams we're all doing it's absolutely fantastic. We're just going to keep kicking ass. So yeah, that 1%, I think it's very doable.
So, and just to chime in here, Rotten, I would say check your figures, because I think in 2019, check with Tug, because he's really the math dude when it comes to the revenues in the comic industry. But I thought I could have sworn, and EBS was doing some streams about this, that Indy had taken a 3.4% chunk out of the big boys, and I believe that with EBS getting over $1 million, that he actually made a percentage point of that himself. So I would just double check that. But yeah, Indy's only growing. I mean, there's no stopping it.
Well, and I think when we have people like, you have creators like Vinny who are putting out really good quality work, that it's really like the quality of the book itself, like the physical book, is so high. Plus then the artwork in it is so good. And then the story behind it is so good. And the delivery time is insanely quick. You know, Adam posts the same thing. You order it and you get it, like he ships it out to you immediately. Having all of these indie creators that are showing everyone kind of how it should be, like this is how this should be done, and you know, caring and putting their heart and soul into it, I think that's only making it more legitimate and making people a lot more comfortable and like, yeah, I actually can throw my money at this.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said right there, we care. That's the difference. They don't. We do.
And if it's going to be late, we're going to tell you. You know, CG tells you that they're going to be late. It's not like these you know, anti-CGers that are, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years late with their projects and shit. So
that's the huge difference for sure. We care about what we're doing. Like Adam. Make sure you get it out there fast. It's something I talked about with other creators. I always tell them, if you can do it, because I know a lot of people, the situations are always different. And I know, like, I've been breaking my ass doing all those campaigns, getting everything out the way I did, packing, shipping by myself. But if you're going to launch a campaign, try to get as much done as possible before you launch.
Absolutely.
Again, think about you as a fan. Would you want to wait a really long time, or would you want to get it sooner? Think about that stuff. And in the process, while you're doing it, you can start promoting. Like even this collected edition, I was promoting it for close to 2 months, I think. Before I did the launch. And I've never done a pre-launch page, but I tried it on this one, and you know, apparently it's been working pretty well. But also, I think people were very hungry for this one. You know, once they saw my other projects and the quality, like you said, the delivery. So yeah, I'm very grateful, and I'm going to keep doing, you know, the best I can for myself and for everybody who's following, watching, and supporting.
Justin, get your question in now because we're about to wrap up. And on that note, I did want to just draw you guys' attention to one thing real quick and say a hearty thank you to the audience, because during this stream, we crossed the threshold to 450 subscribers.
Beautiful. Congrats.
Yay! You guys
That's
are
awesome.
amazing.
Thank you all so very much. I just
Hell
wanted
yeah.
to point that out, and thank you guys while we're live instead of just on Twitter.
Yes. No, we very much appreciate all of the support we've been getting, especially recently. We've gotten quite a lot of people who've, found our channel, who've retweeted our stuff, who've tweeted it out independently and, tried to help support a lot of these indie creators. We do this because we love doing this, and we do this because we love talking to all these indie creators. Vinny is super awesome. We've met a ton of cool people because of it, and we are so appreciative of all of you guys.
Yep.
You guys are amazing.
Vinny, Malin, Cecil, Martina.
Yep.
Martina was awesome.
Was amazing.
Raven,
Having
who's
Carla
like a little
on.
sister. Carla, John, for a minute. Just a bunch of really great people, and it's been so much fun, and it's so great to see people responding to something that if we had 0 viewers, we'd still do it. It'd be sad, but we'd still do it. So,
no one would want to come, but we would try.
Yeah, it's nuts. You never know how or when it's going to work properly. I think I'm one backer away from 250. Not backer, supporter on subscriber on YouTube.
Nice.
So it's like, again, we're all doing our part. But even when I go live, I usually have a very good number for someone who has not that much of a subscriber.
You have a good participation rate. I gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm always very happy about that. So it's really cool. Just come on, guys. You got to go sign up.
Yes. Everybody subscribe. Subscribe to Red Valkyrie, subscribe to Vinny's art channel, subscribe to everything. We'll have it all in the descriptions.
Yes,
Justin wants to know, do you think it's a good idea to share the first 22 pages of a 102-page book as a free preview?
Possibly. I don't know. It's I don't know. I would say maybe get like key moments that you really think look great that don't give away too much of the story. That's possible. Yeah, it depends, I think, on the book too.
Yeah, if it's all set up and non-spoiler pages, then I think you'd probably be pretty good. If it's just like establishing the world that you're in, and you haven't really gotten into the crux, the meat of your story yet.
Right.
The only thing that I would caution against is I wouldn't put 22 pages on your Indiegogo for somebody to scroll through. If you were going to do something like that, I would probably find a hosting website that you could do as like a little preview ash can that you can link people to so they can go and see the artwork, and then choose some of your more than 5 to 10 maybe that you'd put on your Indiegogo, because we've had some Indiegogos that have had almost no art, and that does not go over well. And then we've had Indiegogos that have had so much art you just can't get through it all.
Right.
And if you're just doing page after page after page, after a while, I'm not going to care anymore. Because if I'm going to buy the book, I'm going to buy the book.
Exactly.
But if you're interested in trying to give people an idea of what the storytelling is going to be like and the art's going to be like and the flow, putting something like that together as an ashcan PDF type thing, and then giving an open link to a Dropbox or something, that I don't see any problem with that at all.
Yeah, or I would say at least like maybe just a couple of pages, kind of like what I have for Through the Woods, a bit of like the encounter with the little girl and Jack, and then he's protecting. I'm showing that he's there to save the day anyway, so you kind of see who the character is.
Yeah,
some flashback moments. And I toyed with the idea too of showing stuff in later parts in the book. And I went, no, it's going to give too much away. Right. I rather have like that suspense that's built up. A splash page here or there, but try not to give too much away.
No, I think it all just depends on how you've laid out your comic. A lot of comics, especially when you're getting into 100+ pages, a lot of people are doing kind of like an ash can that starts out the comic. And if you wanted to offer an ash can, that's what they're for. The whole point of an ash can isn't to necessarily make money on. It's usually to drum up hype and to promote. And so when you actually launch your real comic, you've got something there that people already are kind of familiar with and that they're a little bit more comfortable with to say, yeah, this is exactly why you should back.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's for
Well, I think this was a really great stream. I'm happy that we got to have you on. I love having Vinny on to talk about all of his awesome art and his gorgeous women that he always draws and make me feel like I need to diet. That's why I wear puffy vests.
Well, I appreciate it. For what I see, you don't look like you're obese or anything, so don't worry. You're like, oh, I need to diet. I'm like, you look fine. What's wrong?
Oh, that's so... I don't know if that's mean or not.
No. Are you kidding me? No, I'm saying the way that a lot of women do that. They're like, oh my God, I need to lose so much weight. And then you look at them like, you look fine. What's wrong?
No, hold up. I lost 35 pounds. I'm good. I'm happy.
Fantastic.
Hey, Vinny, I'd like to point out something to you real quick.
What's that?
Red Valkyrie,
Mm-hmm.
featured channels. There you go.
In case you
awesome.
didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that. You can set your channel. I don't know shit about technology. I don't know how I'm doing what I'm doing, to be honest.
We'll talk. And yes, you are at 249.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you too. And just so people know, tonight at 10 p.m. I'm going to be on another stream with Stephen Walden. He's an author, but if you go over on my Twitter, I retweeted him. He's just like 2 or 3 down, and you can see it. So the link is set up. Let me go to what's his site here? Author Stephen Walton on YouTube. So yeah, at 10 o'clock I'll be over there as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming out. Make sure, if you haven't already, which I don't know why you wouldn't, unless you're, like me, waiting for payday, make sure that you go and back the Through the Woods collected edition so we can get it hopefully to that hardcover and the bigger size. So we need to get at least a 12. I want to see you hit 30 plus because honestly, the art looks amazing. The story sounds really fun. I kind of like that it's a brother tag team going on for all of this.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. And I'm obviously a huge fan. I've got 3 of your books sitting right over here.
Thank you again. Yes.
Absolutely. So make sure that you go back. The link is in the description. It is also in the chat. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to Red Valkyrie. Send this out everywhere. Let's get Vinny as much exposure as we possibly can. And thank you guys so much for coming out. We'll catch you later.
Vinny, you're at 250, by the way.
Woo! 250!
Thank you very much.
Have a great night, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.